bro. I've been high, I've been low. I done pimped it, been hoe. I done prayed and been prayed on. I fell off and I stayed on. I've been played.
Lay down, peasant.
So now we're here, bro.
Yeah, this is episode 39. If you watched episode 38, these are in fact the same clothes.
Yes.
But we have gone to Tiny Mike for
Mhm.
this episode. It's our first time doing 2 days.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna start experimenting more and more. This gives us so much more flexibility.
There's more freedom in this, and we get a head-on content, and it just makes it seem more real the more and more that we do this.
Yeah, but I think it totally does help. Like, I mean, the first time around, it took us a little while to get set up, but we just did that in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, easily.
That was mad quick.
Very good turnaround on that.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, we don't know what this episode's really going to be because it's our first time doing 2 episodes in the same day, and we kind of been spitballing ideas and going back and forth, and might just be us coming up with ideas. But this is where engagement from you guys helps out, because then we would know more of like what we could talk about, what's interesting to you guys, what topics you guys really enjoy. And you can always comment and engage on Instagram, TikTok. If you're on YouTube, you can drop comments. Our comment section is hilarious. One of the best places on YouTube.
It's great. Yeah, it's a fun place to be.
You can tell this is a mom and pop.
Yeah.
We are out here really,
we're out here
pushing.
Yeah. Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Going after it.
We're really trying. But it would be nice if we knew some more input from you guys. We see you guys liking and watching the videos, and we see the views and the listens everywhere, but you could get a little bit more engagement. This way we know, like we said, a little bit more about what you guys want to hear, because that's important to us. We're not just here for you guys to listen to us talk about nothing sometimes.
Yeah, but it would help us. We do get some feedback, but I think in the beginning it's a lot of you just trying stuff out.
But at least we're trying, and that's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah.
So we're showing up for another episode that'll come out for another week, and we'll just keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. We've kind of talked about making them a little bit more condensed and trying to just bounce around more with topics. Stay in like the same lane fairly often. But that's where we're comfortable. But we're looking to branch out and do some new stuff.
Something that's exciting, if you think about it, we're sitting here recording, and it's the first time we're recording 2 episodes in a day. But think about how much more might change, because now we're ahead on so much content by the time this episode actually comes out. Things can change very quickly, and it'll be nice that it'll be very in the moment for us, but we can take our time editing and clipping and putting it out. And by the time it's out there, we've actually had some time to settle on what we were talking about, and we have reflections on it too then, you know what I mean?
Discussing before we started recording new ways to not only involve people, but just other things to post besides just the podcast, making it more of is brand the right word? I don't know. I think that's a good place to start. Outside of the music aspect, what do they post on Only Steve's for Mike that makes you pay?
The free music,
I know,
the new music.
I know, but
and then there's
is
content
what else
on there.
was because obviously
the
we don't have
podcast
music.
is exclusively on Only Steve's now.
Yeah.
So you can only listen to the new episodes of Y&K on there. So I guess that's one thing. He's got extra content and stuff in there though, behind the scenes looks at stuff. They do a lot of giveaways, which we're not at the point to do, but merch is another thing. Early access to that's something that we've talked about quite a few times.
We have. Yeah, that is something we have. Stickers we want to do.
Yeah. Stickers with QR codes to just place around Beacon and Newburgh, wherever we are. Just brings you right to the link tree. You can get to all of our affiliate links right there. You can sign up for Whoop Online Therapy.
Yeah.
Start your own podcast. Or you can just go scroll through a bunch of our content,
More extra Eleanor content.
Yeah. We got to get Lola back on the podcast. It's been
she hasn't been on in mad long.
I know, since it's been a while since we filmed at my house, to just in general.
Yeah, sure.
Spend a lot of time in Beacon now.
Yeah. What do you think has been good though for this? It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, we were very on top of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's just being accountable with each other. We were talking about accountability a lot before.
Yeah, and I have entirely appreciated the get up and get after it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need it,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
You do.
just-
It's true though.
it takes no time out of my day, and whether you respond to it or not, like I know that I attempted to make sure you did whatever you
Yeah.
were supposed to do for the day, and like that'll make me feel better about the situation, and hopefully it helps you. You know,
No, it does. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just got to start sending you pings when I post stuff on Instagram and on YouTube for you to watch them, so you get those likes and those
Get
views.
those likes and those comments, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. The comment section.
The Rock has like a fake account, I think, and he's just been loving our content.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I think so does the ghost of Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
They just post. They really
Shout
love.
out.
They love the podcast though. Thanks,
Shout
guys.
out to Marco.
Yeah.
Marco Guzajan, loving the podcast.
Yeah, love that
Marco
guy.
with the food hall.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Really, really supports the podcast.
Your roommate Luke,
Yeah.
always in the comments.
Big fan.
That's
Big
my favorite
fan.
roommate.
big fan.
Yeah.
The one day he'll be a guest.
We could be shouting you out if you would comment more on our content.
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely.
Your advertisement here.
Send us a screenshot of you sharing our episode with somebody, and we'll shout you out in the podcast.
What are some products or things that you use that you would love to be able to share on the podcast that could benefit the podcast? What's a dream affiliate for you?
Dream affiliate or sponsor, whatever. Yeah. It would definitely be cool if we had some type of sponsorship around like supplements or mushrooms, like the what's the right word? Adaptogens,
Adaptogenic mushrooms.
Yeah, or something like around the supplement space.
Symbiotica deal.
Like I see stuff for like Magic Mind or like AG1, things like that.
Mhm.
That like not only would it be cool to sponsor that because it's a popular product, but also like then we would get to
use it.
we would get to use stuff like that, and they would send us cool stuff. And definitely to have like Chewy or Bark Box or something like that.
Yeah, something
Just
for the
sending
dogs.
us mad stuff for the pups.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny? Me and Rebecca were speaking of dogs. She sent me a picture or a video of, Dave Portnoy's dog?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miss Peaches. Yeah.
She's super famous.
Yeah.
That is the
So it's
same
just-
dog. That
I
is the
said
same
that-
dog as Lola. Her
I
dad's
said that
just
to you
not
mad
Dave
long
Portnoy.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I told you that.
That's crazy.
Looks just like your dog.
I should have just started a fucking
Yeah.
an Instagram for
Miss
Lola.
Lola.
Yeah.
Just go crazy. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Any type of like technical sponsor would be
Yeah.
cool. Like something like, I mean, this is dreaming out there, but like something like Canon or like
Yeah.
Rode makes mics or Shure makes mics and
Something
things like that. Obviously.
All the equipment's from them.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be cool.
Or even like
This episode's like a vision board for
would
the podcast.
provide. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that would be. I mean, there's obvious. I think that any type of.
I want somebody to want to buy my life rights.
Well, but that's a good one. Like something to do with like books or like a book club or
A publishing house.
yeah, mhm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I feel like we're thinking in terms of stuff that would make the podcast better, give us more interesting stuff to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and or would allow us to be able to do this more often.
Yeah.
Like actually, that would be a cool one. It's not just like you're sponsored by like a bank, but it's like you're sponsored by like their money management, budgeting.
Oh, like
Type
Rocket
of-
Finance. That's a
yeah,
big
or
one on-
yeah, exactly, or yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that stuff.
that would like actually allow us to, like, that could help people.
yeah.
You know,
That could help us.
yeah, like,
we both have
exactly,
both have something
Yeah.
centered around money. Like.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, and that's what I mean. Like,
We talked about being a little bit more loose this episode.
it would also be cool, like, to get sponsored by like a gym or like in the same area as like something like Whoop, anything that would like give us access to stuff that like we normally wouldn't,
yeah.
but that could also like help people.
Yeah, something that like we can see the benefit of, so we can pass it on.
Yeah,
A sauna would be dope, just like a infrared sauna. Not that either one of us has the space to put one anywhere, but like that'd be sick. If somebody wants to rent us out a space, that'd be even doper. We have been talking a lot about a studio lately, so
if anybody wants to rent us out a space that we can record at, you can be a sponsor of the podcast for $0.
absolutely 100% free.
That would be a super cool sponsor too. That would be like anything based around like travel or like retreats, where like we could lead our own like meditation.
like Evan
retreats.
Britton has one.
I'm pretty sure that like that's something that you can do.
I do feel like you have to be certified in that stuff, though.
No,
Like-
but we could also, like, if we gathered
Or
enough
just gathered
contacts, like
people.
we would be the leaders of the retreat, but we would have like a meditation teacher come with us and a yoga. We could have Will come as a yoga instructor, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
And then we just podcast in the middle of it.
Well, no, and we could
Do it with everybody.
think
and then
about
do
like
a
what
live
he does.
podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mhm.
That'd be sick.
That's a mad good. I think that's a mad good idea.
Comment pineapples if you like that idea.
I think that'd be like that would be super cool, because then that's a way that you can, like, we've talked about doing like a live episode or something that's like, how do we connect with people who are fans of this that we don't know personally,
Yeah.
but like we want to know you, so like like it's awesome that, like, to us, that like even one person would be interested in what we're doing and what we're talking about.
Yeah. I really do like that idea. Just like,
That would be awesome. What if we let our own ayahuasca retreat?
I'd have to do ayahuasca by myself first.
No, I know, but
You
but
know,
down the
like,
road, I mean,
yeah.
like, you know.
That'd be cool.
But like that's a good example. Like we talked about like vlogging.
Mhm.
Like eventually, like in the next couple of years, we're gonna go on a trip to do something like that.
Yeah.
And like that's something that people who watch this podcast would probably be interested in. Who knows where we'll be at that point in our lives?
I mean, it's like we said before, if we just keep being accountable and pushing these episodes out right now, like by the time these things start airing, like things would be so different.
Yeah. Like I want to be at the point where somebody says to me in person, like, "Oh, I thought that you were going there. Like, I thought you were going to Philly this weekend." And then I can be like, "No, I went to Philly 2 weeks ago because that's when the episode aired. Like, we
Yeah.
recorded that 3 weeks ago, but somebody just heard that episode now."
Yeah. Just being that far ahead. Just a matter of making the content and holding each other accountable for this. Like, you staying on top of me with getting the clips and the stuff for social media done, and me staying on top of you with getting the final edits done, like, and then both of us taking the time to make sure that we set one day aside for the week where we can sit and actually work on the podcast.
Yeah, no, not even work. We're worried about recording. Like,
yeah,
we're
just like
putting into new ideas.
exactly. And then the day that we do have set to record, like,
Yeah.
just maintaining this rhythm that we're on and this flow.
Yeah, no, it feels good. Like, it's always nice to see the numbers and how many people are supporting and stuff like that. But it's like not caring about the superficial part of it and just leaning into the part of why we like doing this versus worrying about, is it getting bigger? Are we getting more people?
The last book I gave you from Deepak Chopra,
Yeah.
The 7 Spiritual Laws, man. You got to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Release the attachment, detaching from like what you want out of this, and just like we said, like continuing to do this, just continuing to sit down and take the time to record episodes and put out as much content as we can, and try and be as punctual and on top of this as possible. Because if we just focus on that, and rather than what the outcome of that is all going to be,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we're going to get there so
Absolutely.
much quicker.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm. Yeah, just exactly. And just focusing on that,
Mhm.
kind of like blocking out whatever else is going on. And just, I'm not going to make this important because of X, Y, and Z. I'm going to make this important because it's important to me.
Exactly. You know, I don't really care how many view. I mean,
It's awesome. No, it's not
but,
that.
like,
Yeah.
I care more about the fact that we're a year and a half into this and we have 39 episodes out. You know, I care more about by 2 years I want to have 100 episodes out. I care more about like by 2 years I want to have like at least 25 guests. Like, I want to talk to more people and learn
Yeah.
more about like the things that matter to us, you know, whether it's like
yeah.
sitting down and talking to somebody that's in the space that like comedy or like directing or whatever it is that you like, it's something that I'll learn. Or if we want to sit down and it's somebody that's more related to the things that I enjoy, like spirituality and like stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, we can sit there and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm hanging my hat on, you know, not what we get out of this, but like what I get out of this because I keep doing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think we've almost like barely touched like the capabilities in terms of like the type of guests that we can have on here. The sky is the limit. I can't wait to go back to that first episode that we did when we have like that first person who we talked about in the first episode when we were just like, this is a fucking pipe dream
Yep.
to have this person on.
We listed like 5 people in that first episode, right? That we would love to have.
I
on
remember
there.
a few of the people.
Shout
I mean.
out the tribal chief, Roman
Yeah,
Reigns.
I know you picked him. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I know I've had John Mulaney and I had Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of Rick Rubin then.
I had Mike Evan Britton. Evan Britton agreed to be on here a long time ago,
Yeah.
and we've just never worked out a date. So hopefully one day it works.
Yeah, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel good about that though.
Yeah. It'll work
I
itself out.
I
when it's
love his
supposed to.
podcast. Yeah, he's one who does the retreats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even Jared from Soul of Jared's doing
Things like that.
stuff like that now.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
very much more on Patreon and like just become like a private. I see you stuff on Instagram still sometimes. Just it's not in my feed nearly as much as it used to be.
Mhm. Yeah,
I think that's also the algorithm with Instagram.
yeah,
Mike always is posting in the Stephen Mingle. He's just like, can you share this with your friends? Because for whatever reason, like,
everybody's been talking about that lately.
yeah, he can see, like, we can see it, like, because we're a business account, but you can see how many people it reaches, and then you can see the actual interactions with it, which is crazy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. What was I saying right there? What were we talking about before that part?
We were talking about the type of guests that we could have. on
Oh,
here.
yeah. Just like, I do think you're correct. I think like it's kind of limitless. No, as long as we keep doing this and keep reaching out and keep pushing, like
Yeah.
eventually the dominoes will fall into place.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're attracting.
Mm-hmm.
You get what you think about. If that's what we're thinking about, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sky is kind of the limit. I feel like. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
We could have, we could have people even bigger than who we dreamed of in that first episode.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's all simulation.
We
man.
got, yeah. It's true. I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. Like, it's,
No, I like this. I like sitting here just manifesting, talking about it publicly. 'Cause that's what it is.
Who are some people now who you, like,
who I would want to have on. Like Wayne Dyer passed away, so I can't do him. I think sitting down and talking with Deepak Chopra would be
Deepak Chopra would be absolutely,
mind-boggling,
Yeah.
insane. But like, am I ready for that? Absolutely not. Like,
mm,
I think it's also that's a big part of it too. For
it
what
comes when you're ready.
yeah, like we talked about sometime, like if we had reached too far, you know, like we don't have the capability to have like a major person right now. Like,
major.
you know, like
Yeah.
there's levels to this, and like we understand that, but like we continue to work,
Yeah.
and that's the important part. Because if you just keep knocking on the door and
Mm-hmm.
doing it long enough,
Yeah. Jay Shetty would be crazy. I would love to have. I think
that'd be
he's.
a wild.
I
one.
think he's such a good host, though. He
Yeah.
has such good questions.
Imagine if we were a guest on his show.
Yeah. Imagine.
What do you think we'd have to accomplish to get to that point?
I don't know, but if you write a book, that would certainly
Yeah,
put us in a.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you write a movie, bro.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Who's
Yeah.
gonna get there? Yeah. Bro, Jay Shetty emailed me today. I win the bet.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, people like
You
that.
could buy my life rights.
I could get a studio to buy the movie rights and then write the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
Synergy.
Who would you get to play you?
Synergy. To play me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question. That's a good question. I always like that. Me, like, at the age I'm at now?
Yeah.
Who do you think I would be?
Who do I think?
I'm curious.
It's just a wild question.
It's
to
a
ask, I
weird...
feel like.
It's because I feel like I could probably figure out somebody better for you than I could for myself. And
I
vice
would
versa.
want Timothy Chalamet because he's versatile.
You want him to play you?
Yeah. I saw.
You have too much facial hair to be played by Timothy Chalamet.
I'll shave it. I'll go on babyface for the rest of my
He's
life.
versatile. You haven't even seen Dune, bro.
I've seen so many other one of
Dune.
his other movies though.
Dune.
Who'd you get to play me?
Who would I get to play you?
Yeah, you're the director. You get to pick somebody.
I'm the casting. I feel like as a older man, right now, I would have Robert Downey Jr. play you.
Sick. It's so dope. That's
But I'm trying to come up with who I would have you play as a younger.
I would have Adam Driver play you.
Oh, that's a good one. That's
Yeah,
good. That's
I could
good.
see it in the
Yeah.
face and the hair.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. They're like, hey, he's got a big nose, but I guess he's
Kylo Ren
attractive.
is just-
More. That's a very good one. That's a very good one. I think you did a good job there.
Yeah. It's just it's a movie with Adam Driver and Timothy Chalamet being best friends. Think about that. Oh, at one point, Timmy's just doing way too much coke, and Adam's just like, "You gotta stop! You gotta stop, or I'm moving out.
I'm leaving."
Wow. Damn.
No, actually,
I'd have Desiree play Desiree. Love you, babe. Who would play your dad?
John Goodman.
John Goodman. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Who would play your dad?
Bill Goldberg. Duh. Oh. We've just been basically manifesting on this episode so far. Just talking vaguely about not vaguely, pretty in depth about what we'd like this podcast to be and how far it could go, you know. Let us know in the comments if you like episodes like this with the word turmeric.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the code word.
turmeric.
Turmeric.
Should we just so there's something to clip out of here besides everything else? Should we throw an ad in real quick?
Throw an ad.
Yeah, what do you want to do? We got to practice getting better at these.
This episode of Who Thought We'd Be Here is brought to you by Whoop. You can get your first month free. You get a free one of these bands, and it's a great way to keep track of your fitness and wellness journey. Isn't that right, Steve? Of having one? Yes.
One of the features that I love about Whoop is the journal, so I can track all of my supplements, all of my daily habits that might impact my day, my recovery, or the strain that I put on my cardiovascular system. It lets me know whether or not it's beneficial for me to continue that habit or taking that supplement, or maybe I switch it up. It also gives you a lot of insight on stuff.
I think what's cool about it is that when you first get it, it kind of like learns your body's baseline. And then you can kind of like see your progress either in a positive or a negative way over time.
Speaking of, did you get your monthly assessment the other day?
I'm sure I did, but I haven't looked at it.
Oh, I just got mine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What is the end of the month?
My HRV is up this month, and my resting heart rate is down. And those are really the only two statistics that I care about. I have been getting the weekly assessment, though, every week. And for the last two, I have overstrained, but it was with optimal sleep. So I overreached, but it was maintained with optimal sleep.
The perfect balance.
Yeah.
No, it does help. And like being able to notice like those are two of the things that have been working in my favor as well lately. Is that my HRV has been going way up because I've been sleeping better. And my heart rate goes down.
Yeah, and HRV is directly correlated to like stress too.
And really the main two things is that like I have been mostly consistently going and working out, and I haven't been drinking.
Yeah.
Two things that would correlate in that favor.
Yeah.
So I think that like being able to see that like you're physically getting healthier.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, right?
I really enjoy that. You want to we're going to throw this into a different section, I think. How long has it been since the last time you drank?
It's over 2 months now.
So, in those 2 months now, what do you think is the biggest difference for yourself?
One of the big ones is kind of just now, I think I'm a little bit more aware of how I spend my time and like how I think I'm a lot more aware of how I deal with things. And that I don't have kind of like as much of a crutch to lean on when I kind of want to just disassociate from what's going on in my life. And sometimes that's tough, but I think ultimately it just makes you find other ways to deal with that are healthier and more productive in the long run. Like I feel like I can see I feel like I can just kind of see the future a little bit more clearly.
We were talking earlier in the episode about like future goals and like kind of manifesting the future. I think one thing that would be cool, since you're on like the sobriety journey, is to just like every now and then we can just check in, see what the difference is with you, you know, like how you're feeling. Cause then it's very much like, I feel like the majority of this whole podcast, actually, I've been sober.
Yeah.
So like you've seen it with me from the beginning, and I think it's cool that we've done a couple episodes where like I've checked in and been like, this is how I feel now compared to like what I was feeling like before. I think it'd be cool because you're like right at the very beginning of it. Whereas like I was a couple months in at the point that I was probably a month or two in, like where you're going to be at 4 months. You know, I was probably there when we started.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting to get to see your perspective of it, and then like have you talk about how you think it's impacting your life now since you've stopped, because it's very much in real time, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I never thought that's what this podcast would kind of be about. It's kind of like following along in terms of how we're just like trying to be better and be better humans. And it's now gotten to the point where it's like, now I consider it like, how long can I go? I don't like yearn for it. You know what I mean? My bank account certainly thanks me for it. I'm far enough in now that like it just it doesn't appeal to me as much.
Yeah. I think that's where I got to, like a little bit like right shortly after that. Like I had just quit the Roosevelt when we started this thing, so like I was already to the point where like I didn't want to be around it or dealing with it or like associated with it. It was something that I was like trying to make my way out of for a little while, and then I think I kind of came back to the point where I accepted it, and that's why I was like, I can be sober and be around it, and it is what it is. And that wasn't until I moved to Astoria and I was working in Soho.
But then I think also like knowing and kind of being able to see having more energy, like my sleep has been drastically better. Like
100%, like every night this guy.
Not every night, but I've been sleeping way better.
Like almost every night though.
I've been going to bed reasonable hours. I think it's a combination of things, but it's like, to me, it's like I want to keep seeing like how high can my HRV get? How low can I get my heart rate? Or how much strain and recovery and things like that can I accomplish in a day? I think it just makes it easier to be honest with yourself in other ways. And I don't suppress it as much. And it's a lot, it's intense, but it's worth it ultimately. I think that you feel low because it's like you're used to having that.
The very high highs.
But then like your baseline is lower because you get so low sometimes. And I think it just, especially for someone like me, helps me deal more with who I am and what needs to be done. Like the person I'm trying to be now and down the road.
I think for me, sobriety has been very much just like a way to start over. You know what I mean? Like to just completely, in my eyes, like I've started from scratch. Like, I took the time to be by myself. I stopped drinking. Like I started doing the work, and like I show up for myself every day, and I do that. And I think for me, it's very much been like March 26th was the last day of this Steven and the very first day of this Steven.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, it's just been dialed into like, this is what I am now. And that's what I was. And I've disassociated that part of me, you know?
Mm-hmm. Part of it is then figuring out what your identity is outside of stuff like that.
Exactly. That's the...
And noticing the time that, like, now you can spend kind of doing other things that have more long-term rewards.
I think that might be why I always, like, am kind of, like, I feel rushed sometimes. Because you are... I never really thought about it until you just said that. But, like, maybe because we're sober, like, I do notice time more.
Right.
And that's probably why I get so flustered in the morning when I'm like thinking about like I got to be to this place by this time, and I'm just like rushing to do everything.
And then it's like, oh, I feel like I'm not going to be in the right headspace.
Yeah.
At 5 p.m. today, if I don't do what I need to do at 10 a.m.
Yeah, by like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like sometimes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down to the T. I think that's a big challenge, and I think that ultimately is the challenge that I want to win. Is that I know this kind of sucks. Like not having anything to suppress this part, like the thoughts that you don't want to have, or like the work that you don't want to do, or like if you want to just lay around and do nothing, you kind of feel guilty because you don't have those things. And I think that's the ultimate goal, is to show up every day and without any of those things get to the end of the day and be like, I did that, and now I feel like a better person tonight going to bed than I did when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, and I think it makes me feel differently about I guess everything, because you don't have the, and I can't speak for everybody, but in a way, it's like the excuse for why you're not up to your potential. And for me, it's just like now, like I want to see how far I can take it, versus thinking like, oh, I've earned a reward to let myself go back down. It takes a lot, though.
It does. It's a mental grind. It's as much. I think it's more on the mind than it is on the body, because once your body gets used to the fact that you're not drinking anymore, it baselines.
Yeah.
And in your mind, you still have all of those thoughts and all of those worries. And it's more like you have to push through that, but like ultimately, like that's what you want in the long run, right? Like,
you had this conversation with me before I stopped drinking. There's no benefit to it.
yeah.
Like it doesn't really add to anything. Ultimately, like maybe in the moment, if you're feeling anxious.
I think that's one of the biggest things too, is like about working out and tracking it with the Whoop, and is like, it's a lot easier to deal with the shit in your head if you are being active and like taking care of yourself, because no matter what the voice in your head is saying, like it's like you were talking about a couple episodes ago, is trying to be like, well, you did these little things. And I think the longer you get into being sober, the easier it is to take those little things and stack them up and outweigh like the negative stuff in your life. You know, like I ate healthy today. Like I went for a run today. I went to the gym. I went for a long walk with the dog. I meditated. I took a nap, like stuff like that. You see like, oh, I did all of these things for myself today. And that adds up to whatever might be wrong. Like the voice gets quieter, and that voice of like, you did this gets louder, I think. It's like you see what your higher self is going to look like, and then you envision it and you plan it for a really long time. And then you like get sober and you start to see little glimpses of what it could be like, but you don't get the whole thing. And I don't think you ever get the whole thing. but I think you keep working until the mirror is like less smudged, let's say. Like it just looks cleaner and you can see that higher version of yourself.
Yeah, for me the impact on sleep has been insane. I think it was affecting me more than the average person in terms of my sleep. Because my sleep would be bad some nights.
Yeah.
Really bad.
You got the data right there to prove it.
Like my HRV would be like 12.
That's crazy.
10% recovery.
That means oh man.
Yeah.
What would your resting heart rate
would
on
be
those days?
Probably like in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to bed with my heart rate at like 110 sometimes.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Trying to lay down 2:30 in the morning.
Absolutely nuts. Absolutely
disgusting.
Nuts. Yeah.
That's how I feel about that now. But it had to happen for me to get to this point, and I'm grateful that it did, you know?
Yeah.
It's like nice that you're starting to see those results on just the app on your phone, but like you're also starting to notice some of the mental changes. Even though it can be difficult to like keep going, like you're starting to see some of the benefits mentally of just like knowing like this moment is going to pass. I'm just a little heated right now, or like I just need to like go to sleep, or whatever it is that like the emotions that you feel, like when you feel them, like they come up and they're a little bit more clear, but you can start to identify them, I feel like.
Yeah, and I feel, I guess, like less held back. And that I can deal with whatever's going on in my head more realistically. And I can at least be like, well, you didn't get fucked up last night. And then I think that builds into, well, then you did this for yourself and you did that.
You got anything left in the tank?
I'm chilling. We can keep it loose.
I honestly don't have much more to talk about, I feel like. All right. Who thought we'd be here? Episode 39.
Glitters and gold. I had money, been broke. I've been high, been low. I done picked it, been whole. I done prayed and been prayed.